Sam Katie! He goes! Geiger driving and finishing with the one-handed jam.
Welcome in, everybody. We're recording live. Me and Kiel's finest, Connor Velker. We're going to be bringing you some recaps of just what we've heard from the games. We'll give you some final scores, some final recaps, go over each game that occurred tonight for the regional semifinal. And we're going to preview 3 regional final games tomorrow. So first, we'll start out with Mishicot Roncalli. This game, as we predicted, wasn't going to be very close, and we were right, obviously. Just, Mishicot just not playing the same amount of competition and level Roncalli's been playing. I mean, Roncalli's been playing, Appleton West, Martin Luther, teams like that, bigger teams, and they were just better in this game. Mishicot got out to a 12-7 lead behind some early good shooting by the Indians, but Roncalli, it was all Roncalli after that. The note I got was it just was made a pretty sloppy game, and Roncalli in sloppy games usually prevails, and they won by a score of 72-43. Next game we got on the sheet tonight, we got Denmark versus Falls. This was also another pretty lopsided one. Wasn't really close at halftime. It wasn't really close at the end. Sounded like Denmark did basically anything they wanted with Falls 1-3-1. I do not have final box scores, but Donovan Short, I heard he had a big game. I think he had 16 in the first half. That's the only score I got from that game. And, Falls, just too bad they couldn't have, I know we've talked about this already, but just too bad they couldn't have had a better year. A lot of canceled games, a lot of adversity they had to overcome. But it's good to see 2 seniors go out, and it was fun to watch Malachi Munoz and JJ Nikolai, among others, for that Falls crew. And then we'll jump into our close games. And, we got one more lopsided game, and I'll talk about this one. So we had the number 1 seed Brilliant hosting Kewanee. That final was 66-38. Really wasn't close at any time in the game. It was, kind of closer in the beginning, but Brilliant just really did anything they wanted. Played really good defense. No one had over 10 points for Kewanee. They were led by Alex Rohr with 8 points. And Lorenz had 18, and Brilliant just played really good defense. And, we'll turn it over to Connor. He'll kind of talk about how Kiel did and what that game was like when they hosted New Holstein tonight. So that final score was 65-60. What was the story of that game, and who were some players that stood out?
Well, it was a pretty good game, an entertaining high school basketball game. Obviously, a rivalry game. Those are always set up to be a little closer. You throw the records away, as they say. But I mean, I think it was everything that I expected. It was a great matchup. I think New Holstein really shot the ball well early. They didn't miss the first 5 minutes of the game, had about 20 minutes within the 13-minute mark. So they got really hot. And then Kiel figured it out defensively a little bit. Sam Casper dominated for New Holstein. I mean, he only had 21 points, but his impact was much greater than that and really kept them in the game. Kiel extended the lead out to about 14 late in the second half, and he brought it in along with Cameron Olson, who he had 19. So really 2 good performances there, to finish out their high school careers for New Holstein. And then the Raiders, I mean, Keenan Muntz was unbelievable. You never count out seniors playing in their potentially last game. And that second half, that sense of urgency by Keenan Muntz, if you didn't think that he was the most improved player in the conference, watch that second half. You won't be able to tell me any differently because he was unbelievable. He had how many points at half? He had 5 points at halftime, so 14 second half points, and he was just dominating down low. Just tough finishes. He had one falling down, where just like a circus shot and put it in, and it was incredible. So obviously, big game by him. Travis Coleman had 15. He had some big shots in the second half, got more involved late in the second half when the Raiders needed him. And then Carson LaPisto finished with 13. But, as we talked about before, he broke the school record for, 3-pointers made in a career. So big shout out to my guy, Carson, for breaking the record.
Yes, I'm posting that right now. Hopefully the Keel Raider Radio won't be too upset I'm using their edit. I'll give them some credit. But, yeah, that's amazing. Carson LaPisto, was he a 3-year player? But 165 threes, man, that's pretty impressive. Definitely giving him a shout out right now.
He broke Carter Velker's record, who did it in 4 years. So
yes.
Make that be known. That edit, I did that edit, so you got permission.
Okay, yeah, I'll tag you. Just didn't want to have my account blocked or taken down. Just like never mind. So yeah, it sounded like Keenan Munns obviously highlighted the Raiders with 19-9, and I've seen Keenan Munns play 2 big games against Brilliant, and when he's going, Keel can beat just about anyone. It'll be really interesting to see what they do tomorrow night and who will step up for them tomorrow night. And we'll get into that game later. So we had one other final. In this one, predicted by Mark Miller. He actually predicted this right. He predicted an upset here. Southern Door 67 over Valders, who scored 65. And I am a little impressed, or I'm a little surprised that Southern Door did win. Valders they've just been a really solid team all year long. Not the flashiest team, not the most team who's going to score the most or not, but they're just really good in pretty much every aspect of the game. They do everything well. And yeah, Southern Door, I guess I don't have a box score for that game yet, but Alex Doust, I believe, had a big game. And at the end, a lot of people are saying, or I've seen some comments already, that controversial call by the refs. I'll recap the last 30 seconds. I watched that after the Brilliant game. Southern Door dribbling out the ball at the top of the key. I believe there was an off-ball foul committed by Bernie Vanden Heuvel, and they went to the line. And I believe it was the front end of the bonus, so it was 1+1 shooting, and the first one hit the back of the rim and went up in the air. It looked like it would be a loose ball, but came right back down through the cylinder. They drained the next one to go up by 2, and Peyton Dietrich took the ball the length of court with 6.1 seconds remaining after Valders' timeout. Had a great look. Looked like a good shot. I thought it was good from where I was sitting, but didn't get the roll from the rim. Just an unlucky shot there, and it kind of rolled around the cylinder and rolled out. And, Southern Door, they live to see another day, and they're going to be coming to Brilliant tonight, and they're going to be looking to win another one as they're hot, and they've won a lot of games this year. I believe this is win number 17 for them. And so it's just in Valders, Peyton Dietrich, I believe he was really their only senior who was – Bernie Vanden Heuvel was also a senior, but I'm probably missing one also. But,
is Valesky a senior?
Sorry, yeah, I knew I was missing one. Valesky came in halfway through the year, really played some good ball for the Vikings. He's been one who caught my eye and was impressive in some games last year. But, yeah, good senior class leaving Valders, but – Coach Swear and the Valders fans, you have to be happy just knowing you have several younger guys who are just there to be there for your team next year. And Jackson Olsen, Cole Hovey, even guys like Bodart and Griepentrog, a lot of shooters. They'll have some size, and they'll be a team to watch next year, definitely. And yeah, they couldn't get the job done tonight, but Southern Door, you got to give them credit going into Valders. Always a tough place to play with the crowd. Shout out Drew Skyberg with the banana. But yeah, tough place to play, and it'll be interesting. So now we can get up to the matchups tomorrow. So really, what game do you want to start with? Let's start with, I believe it is Manitowoc Lutheran. Roncalli has tomorrow. WIAWI doesn't have a final yet. It doesn't, but I think it's Manitowoc Lutheran they play. I could be wrong. And I saw Manitowoc Lutheran did knock off Sheboygan Lutheran 77-76 a few weeks ago. So that one could be game to watch, but I really don't think so. your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they played earlier in the year. I think that Roncalli didn't play very well, so Manitowoc Lutheran kept it close. But anything can happen. It's playoff basketball. I think Manitowoc Lutheran they didn't impress me when Kiel played them, but I think they're trying to find the right word here. They're
Scrappy.
Their team is made up of they're made up of a lot of different like assets. So
okay,
they have a couple guys that can do different things. They're not like, you sub in a guard and it's just interchangeable and what their skills are. They're very unique in kind of their skill set. They obviously Travis Coleman, when Q played him, had a big game, but defensively they've been much better of late. But I think they like playing in the 70s, in the 80s. And if they can do that, Roncalli is not known for letting games get up above 60 or 70. If they can do that, Roncalli is going to have a tough time scoring with them. So if that game's up in the 70s and the 80s, I think Manitowoc Lutheran has a chance to win it. But I'm taking Roncalli here as they're just too well coached to get beat in a game like this.
I'm taking Roncalli by, I'm going to say about minus 20. I would favor them by about 20 points here. And I do believe Lutheran has some size. So that maybe could be a thing. Roncalli tries to play quick, and they got some size with FICO and obviously the conference's best player in Pouts. But who knows? That could give Roncalli a little trouble. But I just think, usually we've seen Roncalli kind of play some closer games at half. And, like you saw tonight, Mishkot jumped out to an early lead and they just slammed the door. But I've seen a lot of they're a second half team. They've blown a lot of teams out in the second half, just not even giving them any chance late in the second period. So, yeah, I'll take Roncalli by 20. I think Lutheran will be a game. It'll be a game the first about 25 minutes of the game. It'll be a game, but I think that last 10 to 8 minutes in there, I think Roncalli will just run away, and they're going to be advancing to the sectionals for quite a few seasons in a row. So next game, we'll go Brilliant Southern Door. A key for Brilliant is just keep up their great defense. They shut down Alex Rohrstein, who's averaging 18.5 points a game, and Ben Heim, who's also up there. I believe he had 15 points a game. And, they had so many turnovers. I'd like to see how many turnovers they forced Kewanee to commit. And they're just going to have to keep it up. And Brilliant's a little bit of three-point shooting away from becoming a really solid team. I think it's safe to say that now. I've seen them play basically every game this year. You have Lorenz and you have Cripley, and they're always going to get theirs. They're always going to dominate the ball. And one thing I just think I've shouted them out a couple times, but I'm going to shout out Hunter Cripley again. It's just the amount of stamina that dude has is unreal. Guard's the best player every game. I can't really remember him. He's one of the best ball handlers in the conference, and he was big tonight in just giving Kewanee no chance. And he's one to look at tomorrow. I'm guessing he'll be on Doust. I'm guessing Stabani will be on him at times, but that's one thing. Brilliant. They can keep up that great defense. Kewanee scored a lot, but not giving up 40 points. That's a pretty good task to do. And so now I'll turn it over to you. What do you think are some keys for Kiel tomorrow who are traveling to Oostburg?
I think, number one, beating a 1-3-1. As my good friend Mark Titus always says, it's a make shots league, and they're going to have to obviously knock down some threes. Oostburg has shown, 1-3-1, but they've also played a lot more man this year. So if Q can get Oostburg in man, I think they have a chance to take advantage of some of those matchups. But, obviously hit shots. They're going to have to take care of the basketball. Last year against Sheboygan Falls in the 1-3-1, we played great, and it was just a matter of losing about the first 2 minutes or the last 2 minutes of each half that really ended up in them dropping that game. But I think tomorrow night it's going to be a matter of taking care of the basketball, obviously hitting shots, and then they got to defend. They didn't defend very well today in their low post defense. Tomorrow night they're going to see Brock and Wissy, who are both 6'5", 6'6", solid post players. And so Kiel's going to have to defend block to block tomorrow. And if they don't do that, they're going to get exposed a little bit. But Oostburg has been vulnerable at times, have had a couple close games to some inferior opponents, but they also knocked off Sheboygan Lutheran the week after the seeding meeting. So definitely a team that can get hot quick, but a beatable team.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I know you don't like making predictions because I feel the same way. I really didn't make a prediction for tomorrow. I mean, I would think Brilliant would be favored by a little bit. They are the 1 seed and coming off a big win. I just think they're favored by a little bit, but I am going to say it. I do believe Kiel wins tomorrow. I haven't seen Oostburg enough to make a really accurate and really for sure prediction. Like, I just haven't seen them enough. I've seen them play before, but not this group. But I just feel like Kiel, I don't know. There's just something about them. I just like them over Oostburg. Just maybe it's because they've played better opponents and they've been playing just as good as basketball as we've seen anyone play this year. And I got to bring it up. Oostburg fans, if any are listening, won't like to hear it, but only about one year ago, it was a 30-point game at half, and a kind of similar team from Falls to Kiel's. Falls last year team to Kiel's this year team. They were up 30 points, 47-17 at halftime against Oostburg. Oostburg had no shot to win that game from the tip. So that is weighing into my decision a little bit. I like Kiel. I think it's going to be a great game. And one quick note to add here, I just got it off via Donovan Schultz's Donovan Short, his Instagram page. He had a triple-double tonight, recording 31 points, 12 boards, and 10 blocks. So triple-double for Donovan Short. I knew he had a big night, but pretty impressive numbers for the Division I recruit. And I'm not exactly sure who Denmark plays. That really is irrelevant to this, but Denmark will be a team to keep an eye on outside of the EWC. But 3 good games tomorrow. We got Roncalli hosting Manitowoc Lutheran at the Chet Hanger, tip at 7. Kiel's traveling to Oostburg, tip at 7 also there, and tips also at 7. Brilliant will be hosting Southern Door. So any more notes, anything you want to touch up on, or anything to say before we end this podcast tonight?
No, I'm really excited for the slate of games tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great day to be an EWC basketball fan. Just a shout out to all of the EWC media out there. Whether or not we agree on opinions, I just be doing me. I'm thankful for the great EWC basketball coverage that you give, Robbie. It's the best in the biz. No other opinions matter other than the EWC basketball page, and that just needs to be known.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just doing what I want to do. I try not to make people upset with the picks. I love it when people DM me. I love it when I get feedback and I can just understand more what's going on with the conference and each team. It's so much fun. I've had such a blast doing this. Yeah, so that'll wrap up our podcast. I believe it was episode 6, tournament preview and regional final preview. So, I'm guessing we'll have a podcast. Hopefully we'll have some teams. I hopefully we'll have at least 2 teams, hopefully all 3 actually advance to sectionals, and maybe we can make another one sometime during the week next week. But if not, so long. Thanks for coming on the podcast tonight, and good luck to Kiel, Roncalli, and Brilliant tomorrow. I should have scores after the games. So thanks for coming on today, Connor.
Hey, of course. Thanks for having me.
No problem.